Don't buy the D-Link DIR-882 router. That's my final advice after months of testing. And today, I'm revealing the 3 critical problems that make this popular Wi-Fi router a potential nightmare for your home network. But here's what surprised me. It's still sitting at a 4.2-star rating on Amazon for around $133. Therefore, you need to see this honest review before you make a costly mistake. For the best price, click the link in the description. You clicked because you want fast, reliable Wi-Fi. The DIR-882 promises AC2600 speeds, MU-MIMO, and a powerful quad-core processor. Sounds perfect for gaming and streaming, right? But the real experience is a different story. Therefore, let's dive into the first major problem, firmware instability. This isn't just a glitch, it's a fundamental flaw. I experienced random reboots, dropped connections, and settings that mysteriously reset. It felt like living with a router that had a nervous breakdown every few days. One joke. My Wi-Fi was less stable than my decision to eat a third slice of pizza. It's a commitment you immediately regret. This instability stems from D-Link's firmware updates, which often feel like band-aids on a broken leg. The router has potential, but the software holding it back is frustrating. Therefore, your high-speed internet can feel sluggish and unreliable. But why does this happen on a router with a strong processor? The answer leads us to problem number 2, heat management and hardware design. The DIR-882 runs hot. During sustained loads like multiple devices streaming or downloading, the casing becomes noticeably warm. This thermal throttling can impact performance, making your premium speeds dip unexpectedly. It's like a sports car that overheats in the driveway before you even reach the highway. Heat issues often linked to longevity concerns. Consistent high temperatures can stress internal components over time. But is the design to blame? The router's physical layout and venting seem inadequate for its own power. Therefore, you might be investing in a device with a shortened lifespan. Now, here's a twist. Some users online report no issues at all. Their DIR-882 works flawlessly. So what's the variable? It often comes down to the third problem, inconsistent quality and the infamous unit lottery. You might get a perfect router, or you might get a problematic one. This inconsistency is the most troubling part of the Amazon reviews. The praise is genuine, but the complaints are equally real and severe. One joke, buying this router is like ordering a surprise bag of chips. You hope for all Doritos, but you might end up with a stale pretzel. Let's analyze those Amazon reviews. The 4.2-star average is deceiving. Scrolling deeper reveals clusters of 1-star ratings detailing firmware crashes, failed connections after months, and poor customer support. These aren't isolated incidents. Therefore, your purchase carries inherent risk. But the product description highlights impressive specs: 2600 Mbps, 4 gigabit LAN ports, dual-band Smart Connect. It's a compelling list on paper. So, is there a scenario where this router is acceptable? Yes, but with major caveats. If you are a tech-savvy user willing to manually update firmware, monitor heat, and potentially tweak advanced settings, you might mitigate the problems. However, for the average user seeking a simple, stable setup, this router is a gamble. It requires babysitting. One joke, this router needs more attention than a Tamagotchi from the 90s. You constantly have to check on it to keep it alive. Comparing it to competitors in the $130–$150 range is revealing. Brands like TP-Link, Asus, and Netgear often offer more consistent firmware and better thermal designs in similar price brackets. Their user experience tends to be smoother. Therefore, the DIR-882's value proposition weakens. But D-Link does have a strength: price-to-spec ratio on paper. For the raw hardware numbers, the cost seems fair. However, specs don't translate to a good experience if the execution fails. So, should you ever buy the D-Link DIR-882? My final verdict is only for a very specific user. Someone who needs a high-spec router for a secondary network, is comfortable with networking software, and accepts the potential for headaches. For a primary home router, I cannot recommend it. The problems are too fundamental and the risk is too high. Let's recap the three critical problems. First, unstable firmware causing reboots and resets. Second, poor heat management that throttles performance and may reduce longevity. Third, inconsistent manufacturing quality leading to a unit lottery, where your experience is unpredictable. Therefore, your $133 investment could become a source of daily frustration. But I want to end on a positive note for D-Link. They have created a router with powerful hardware that, if paired with excellent software and design, could be a champion. Hopefully, future models or major firmware overhauls will realize this potential. For now, the DIR-882 remains a promise unfulfilled. One final joke. This router is like a movie with a great trailer but a disappointing plot. You leave feeling you wasted your time and money. If you seek reliable, high-performance Wi-Fi without the gamble, look at the more stable alternatives in the same price range. Your home network is the backbone of your digital life. It deserves a trustworthy foundation. Therefore, do not buy the D-Link if you value consistency and peace of mind. For the best price on Amazon, click the link in the description to explore this product and make your own informed decision. Thank you for watching.